Hi everyone, welcome back to the cinema. My name is Blake. Today we're back on The Flash, Season 1, Episode 3. And I'm feeling The Flash today. I feel like talking about The Flash again. I need a little bit of CW cheese, so let's get this train rolling. And just in case you forgot, the CW reminds you, 13 seconds in, that the particle accelerator fucking explodes. Change that counter. I remember it being really funny when Barry leaves the cinema at the start of the episode and he's talking about how zombie infections exist within the real world because I knew about it through the Last of Us game. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like the fungal infection with ants? Anyway, Caitlin and Cisco hit up Barry real quick while Iris is on the phone saying, hey, carjacking, guy's got a gun, go deal with that straight away. He splits off and then we see this chase happening with the cops and whatnot. And all of a sudden, the carjacker, well, he's got his gun and he's just opening fire on the cops and like, he's got a gun! Like, how did they not know about it? If they didn't know, how the hell did Cisco and Caitlin know? I don't know, I don't care. I just like that I can pick out little things each episode. It makes me feel better about myself. But I don't hate the show by like any means. I love this thing. So our villain for this episode is the Mist. Or at least that's what Cisco calls him. I don't know if it changes. Whatever. We're going with the Mist. I think the effects look really good, especially for TV. I don't know how far in advance they were working on those effects, but damn, it came out good. Like, you could definitely use those effects to cover a theatrical film. It looked really nice. Harrison Wells later is like really excited about a guy that can turn himself into poisonous gas. And man, does this guy just lie about everything? So after that, we get a flashback scene with, you guessed it, the particle accelerator exploding. Now, albeit, we don't see the same shot. It's a 2-minute flashback with the thing going off. We get a lot of flashbacks in this episode to that event, purely around Ronnie and Caitlin. I'll get to it a bit later, but we didn't see the shot, so I'm gonna let this one slip, but I've got my eyes on you. We get some more of Thorne and Iris trying to hide their relationship from Joe, and I know the show wants me to root for Iris and Barry to get together. Am I the only one that ever kind of wanted to see Caitlin and Barry get together because they're both like nerdy with science and they just kind of, this is probably not the best episode to bring this all up in, considering, this episode, half of it's about how her fiance died. Nevertheless, we'll get to it a different time. So we get more flashbacks to the particle accelerator exploding and we get to see a bit more of Ronnie. And isn't Ronnie such a Chad name? He's such a Chad, this guy. He's like your ideal Chad. After that, we get Caitlin coming to work with Barry, and she talks a little bit about Ronnie and all that stuff, which I guess feels very pointless, but it pays off later on. It's a weird show to kind of judge, especially episode by episode. I probably should have just binged the whole season and talked about it then, but so much effort gets put in. It's 26 hours of stuff that I'm gonna, cram into 10 minutes. There's a lot to go over. And it's more videos for you guys, and for the people that really care about this show and want to see someone talk in depth about it, here it is. So off-brand Victor Zsasz gas man poisons a lady in the elevator, and Barry's like, I've got to go, I've got to stop this guy, and it seems stupid. Barry's got some general knowledge. He should know that he has no plan once he actually gets there. How is he going to fight gas? So Barry goes, he gets himself poisoned, he runs back to Harrison Wells and Cisco, and they're like, yo, you were dying, boy. Jab that needle in his chest. And I didn't like that as a kid. That was, I've really realized that, especially after watching Saw 2. Have you ever seen Saw 2? There's this scene that has to do with the needles. You'll know what I'm talking about. I won't get into it in case you're kind of finicky like me. Joe then hits us with a really good, talk. Holy shit, just a lot of you can't save everybody kind of talk, and it was really good. And then, you'll never guess what happens next. We get some more flashbacks to the particle accelerator. So the particle accelerator is going off. Ronnie's like, okay, let me through the special locked door and I'm gonna fix this somehow. And if I'm not back in 2 minutes, Cisco shut the door and kill me. So the door gets shut, he gets to the door, it's, not in time, he dies. It's just a lot of that stuff. It's a spoiler review, you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Joe visits Barry's dad in prison to talk about how I'm gonna get you out, which was nice. And then the Mist shows up and he full poisons Joe. I did not expect that shit, I expect, oh yeah, Flash is gonna come in last second and just, the the CW is just too safe to do anything that kind of daring. But no, it gets him. Which I don't think I give the CW enough credit for. It's so easy to bash it. But I really like this show. I mean, I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't give a shit. So anyway, Barry's fighting the Mist out on a long street, and it's all about keeping him in his gas form so he tires out and then manifests back into a solid person so he's able to be punched. Barry defeats him. Then they come up with the idea of the super prison inside of the particle accelerator or whatever, and put the Mist in there. Because it's kind of funny, but no one has just been imprisoned. Everyone dies so far. Thorn and Iris drop by to see Joe after he's been poisoned in hospital, and he cracks down on how, well, he's a detective. Of course he knew they were dating. And I think it's the little scenes like these that really make you like Thorn, you know, because he's like, oh, you knew? Okay, you're cool with it? And he's like, no, I'm going to shoot you. And he's like, oh god. It's just the little scenes like that I think make him such a likable character. He could have easily just been this guy that, oh, he's the wrong guy for Iris. Barry just needs to get with her. But they actually make him likable and they make him like a real person, and you don't really get that with shows like these. It's usually black and white, but this has got shades of grey throughout it. Hopefully not 50 Shades, but it has shades. So yeah, we get a little bit more of Caitlin and Ronnie's stuff, and yeah, it feels all kind of useless now, but has payoff later. It's really hard to talk about a show like this because you're only breaking down certain segments of the show and not, you know, it might feel like half an episode's wasted here and that when really it's got set up to pay off later. But it's fine, it's serviceable, we get a little bit more background on what's going on, and we just get another C-list villain for the episode. But I was still thoroughly entertained. We get to see Barry grow a bit more again. Am I the only one that kind of misses Barry's narration at the start? Like, I really... Obviously, you can't come up with something really, like, thought-provoking to say at the start of every episode over 100 episodes, but I just kind of miss it. The feeling that you're with Barry and going on this journey with him before it's about, let's not have Barry and let's focus on other characters. Alright, back to bashing the CW. I swear that to be a CW actor, you have to be able to cry every 10 minutes. It is insane. Barry's talking with his dad, and again, man, it just gets emotional. The tears get flowing. And I think that's what, as a kid, made me more invested in it, because if they're caring so much to be in tears, that I should be there on that same level with them. It's a big deal. I don't know if it's like a cheap gimmick trick or whatever, but it worked as a kid. So we end the episode with another teaser, and it's Harrison Wells watching Barry get struck by lightning, which he was planning and watching, and I don't know how it never occurred to me that Harrison Wells is the main villain of this show. Obviously now it looks like so blatantly obvious, but I didn't figure it out as a kid. I guess it was a show I could just switch my brain off and just watch. And that's all I did. I didn't think too much. So all of a sudden when things happened, it was, oh shit. And that is episode 3. Yeah, I would say it's another solid episode. It's not its best, but you know, they've got to pad this shit, and that's not really their fault. What the show should have been is maybe 13 episodes long and an hour each episode, instead of 26 50-minute long episodes. If you had only just cut some of the C-list villain episodes, it could have been really, really nice. But it is what it is. I like it, and I can't wait to talk about episode 4. So if you enjoyed this, consider subscribing. If you've made it all the way through to the end of the video, you're a bloody legend. And I will see you guys next time when I'm talking about The Flash, or The Avengers, or the same thing I say every time. I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.